Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by again on such short notice. Today on IDP, we have some goth rock / post-punk, some power pop / pop punk, and a couple like indie pop albums that are at varying levels of twee. So I've been a little under the weather pretty much all week, and my head hurts. I'm hoping that it's not, like it's not an aneurysm or something that's happening. Although I will say I'm probably overdue for an aneurysm. So let's hope I can, just get this posted and then I can go into that, having the aneurysm. Anyway, that being said, I'm a little bit behind schedule with where I normally am for this time of week, but you probably can't tell the difference. Yeah, so go ahead and grab yourself the meat stick of your choosing, as well as the beverage of your choice, and let's get started. So first up, we have a London-based band that go by the name Black Doldrums. This is the follow-up to their 2022 LP, which was titled Dead Awake. This one is called In Limerence, which I believe is their second proper studio LP, which is out on Fuzz Club Records. On this, their second LP, they have expanded to a trio, adding in a dedicated bassist named Daniel Armstrong. So that's in addition to the founding members, Kevin Gibbard and Sophie Landers. I'm gonna call this goth rock / post-punk / dreamy dark wave. Yeah, to me, this sits on a foundation of like Bauhaus / Levin Rockets, pretty much throughout the whole LP, and then it peppers in other contemporary bands or pre-contemporary bands like Joy Division, early New Order, or early, like early Cure, and maybe a little early Jesus and Mary Chain as well in the mix. So a lot of 80s post-punk / new wavy vibes with some modern flourishes as well. Has real drums, real guitar, real bass, along with synthesizers. It almost at times sounds like there's drum machine in addition to a real drum kit, although I can't say that to be sure. This is one that it's definitely worth checking out for fans of the style. It is dark and atmospheric, but it also, it's also poppy. It's accessible, I would say. So the artists, they're called Black Doldrums, and the album is titled In Limerence.
I want you to know, said I want you to know. As sure as a setting sun, now my tongue is tied. I want you to know who I am. Need more love, and please don't you hide away. The one that knows. It's small, but small doesn't show. Now that I'm dying for you.
All right, this one is a debut LP from a French quartet. They're called Alvilda, Alvilda, and their debut LP, I am not going to attempt to say. I'll put it on the screen, perhaps. This is super catchy guitar, rock, big hooks, sweet harmonies, has elements of like early power pop or pop punk, 60s bubblegum pop, maybe a dash of like early new wave pop as well. I will say the vocals on this are 100% in French, which I know kind of, limits the appeal to the English speakers out there. But this batch of songs, I would just say, are just so, it's just tremendous ear candy. I think you might be surprised even if you are someone who generally needs, to be able to sing along to the songs and, think deeply about what is being sung about in your pop music. And it's an all female group. It's very easy to compare them to many late 70s and early 80s kind of girl punk, new wave, post-punk type groups. Anyways, I'm digging this one. This is a really, really strong debut LP. The band is called Alvilda, Alvilda. And again, I cannot pronounce the name of their debut LP, but it's out now on Static Shock Records. Yeah, so this one I believe is another debut LP record. This is an indie pop quartet out of Bandung, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong, Indonesia, West Java, Indonesia. The band goes by the name Mountain Moves, and their debut LP is self-titled. I will say up front, there are a lot of other artists with similar names. I think Mountain Movers released an album earlier this year. There's also Moving Mountains, We Move Mountains, Mountains to Move, and there's more than just that. If you do some digging, you find a lot of mountain moves and variations on that theme. This band, again from Indonesia, indie pop band, is simply called Mountain Moves. This is jangly pop / dream pop. When I got through my first listen of this, the first band that kind of came to mind was the late 80s to late 90s group called the Sundays. And then with a bit of someone like the band Always kind of mixed in. The vocals are primarily in English. I think there might be 2 tracks on it which are not in English. Jangly guitars, dreamy female vocals, has some Sarah Records vibes as well. And much like the Sundays, the vocals are, I would say, a bit twee. Anyway, this band, they've been around for a bit now, I guess several years. They put out an EP back in the year 2020. And again, this band is called Mountain Moves, and their debut LP is self-titled, and it's out now on Lisdia Records. Next, another debut LP. This is from a band out of London, a quartet out of London called Sassyhiya. And their debut album is called Take You Somewhere, which is out now on Skep Records. This is female-fronted indie pop in the vein of bands like Shop Assistants, Heavenly, The Pastels, Tullycraft, Vivian Girls, etc., etc. Has 90s indie rock and jangle pop vibes with really clever, tongue-in-cheek lyricism. I think whether or not you can vibe with the lyrics will determine if you are going to be able to enjoy this album. I think the lyricism is really what makes this album stand up. It's 12 songs, 36 minutes. It moves at a fairly brisk pace. For me, it all really works together. This album is definitely on the twee side, so twee-averse should be warned. Anyway, I'm definitely down with this one. This is, again, the artist is called Sassyhiya, which I'm not sure where that name comes from, or if it's a reference to something, or maybe it's not a reference to anything. But this is their debut LP, and it's called Take You Somewhere on Skep Wax Records.
I wanna